Mountains are still being moved. Strongholds are still being loose. God, we believe it. Yes, we can see that. Wonders are still what you do. Bodies are still being raised. Giants are still being slain. God, we believe it. Yes, we can see that. Wonders are still what you do. We are here for you. Come and do what you do. We are here for you. Come and do, yeah, what you do. We need to move. Oh yeah, we need to move. Miracles happen when you move. Healing is coming in this room. Miracles happen when you move. Healing is coming in this room. Miracles happen when you move. Healing is coming in this room. We are here for you. Come and do, yeah, what you do. We are here for you, yeah, yeah. Come and do what you do. We need to move. We need to move. Oh, yes, we do. We need to move, yeah. We need to move.
Hi friends, Taylor here. Welcome to the season of Lent. We are starting a new series studying the Gospel of Mark. This series is called One. Why, you ask? Well, it's pretty cool. Hundreds of churches are studying this same gospel during Lent. Churches right here in Kansas City and around the US, and even around the world. You know, isn't that cool to think about? So many people studying and opening up the Bible to see what God might have to say in their lives during this season of Lent. Lent is the 40 days leading up to the death of Jesus. We take this time to prepare our hearts to remember the sacrifice that Jesus made on that cross. And then we ultimately celebrate on Easter the resurrection of Jesus. So, as we explore the Gospel of Mark, we will look at stories and encounters with Jesus that are life-changing. These stories are from long ago, but they are still changing lives today. Let's open up our ears and our eyes and our hearts as we dig deeper into One. So I've mentioned to you before that I am night blind. I have a really hard time seeing at night and also have a really hard time with my depth perception. Some of you likely have had similar experiences, maybe with physical blindness, that you just can't see very well. But what about other blindness in your life? Have you ever felt like you just can't see what God maybe has for your future? Or maybe you think you know, but the picture is still a little bit blurry. Or instead of your future, maybe you have something going on in your life right now that you need help with, like friendships or family or school or sports or jobs. Or maybe you're in trouble. Wherever you are, what would it look like for you to approach Jesus with what's on your heart? What would it look like for you to ask him to help you see? I ask you that question because we're going to talk about a blind man who had a life-changing encounter with Jesus. And I believe this blind man's experience has a very important message for those of us that often feel blind and need help. His story is found in Mark 10, starting in verse 46. Then they reached Jericho, and as Jesus and his disciples left town, a large crowd followed him. A blind beggar named Bartimaeus was sitting beside the road. When Bartimaeus heard that Jesus of Nazareth was nearby, he began to shout, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." The scene is common even in our day. A poor, homeless man finds a spot to beg on the side of a busy road in hopes of getting some help. And in this case, the man is also blind. But then he realized that Jesus was in town, and word had already gotten out about Jesus. People were talking about his teaching and his miracles, and blind Bartimaeus thought, "This is my chance. I'm sick and tired of being blind, and this is the Jesus that everyone has been talking about, and I'm going to ask him to heal me." So what does he do? He begins confidently shouting, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And what happens next is unexpected by the crowd. Jesus heard him and stopped and said, in verse 49, "Tell him to come here." So they called the blind man. "Cheer up," they said. "Come on, he's calling you." So have you ever been in a situation where you were desperate? You were at the bottom maybe, and you didn't think anyone was ever going to come to your rescue? This is no doubt how Bartimaeus felt. Who knows how many years he sat along the side of the road hoping somebody would pay attention to him. And I can envision his heart racing and his eyes filling up with tears. Could this be it? It's all happening so fast, but Bartimaeus doesn't hesitate. In verse 50, it says, Bartimaeus threw aside his coat, jumped up, and came to Jesus. Now, why do you think that Mark put that there when he was writing this gospel? One of the traditional interpretations of this, that it was just to show how excited that Bartimaeus was, meaning that he got so excited that he forgot his cloak or coat. But think about it. That cloak was probably one of the only possessions that Bartimaeus had. He was a beggar, so he would spread those cloaks out on the ground to collect maybe loose change and scraps of food that people gave him. In the heat of the day or the cool of the night, he would use probably that cloak to protect himself. So I think that Mark really wanted to show us how much faith Bartimaeus had. That cloak or his coat was a symbol of his blindness. He didn't forget it. He just tossed it aside because he believed that he wasn't going to need it anymore. He knew and had faith that Jesus would heal him. Still, Jesus asked him this question. Verse 51, it says, "What do you want me to do for you?" So hold on a second, this man's need is obvious. So why would Jesus ask him this question? He asked Bartimaeus this question to see if he had enough faith to actually say it. So watch how Bartimaeus responded. In verse 51, it says, the blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." He didn't hesitate. He didn't hold back. He just said it. I want to see. I want to see my family's faces. I want to see a sunrise and a sunset. I want to see a mountain. I want to see the sea. And what happened when Bartimaeus said, I want to see? Jesus said, go, your faith has healed you. And then instantly the man could see, and he followed Jesus down the road. So Jesus heals Bartimaeus from his physical blindness and his spiritual blindness. And what's Bartimaeus' first move with this new 2020 vision? He followed Jesus along the road. So what does this have to do with you and with me? To answer that question, I want you to close your eyes. Imagine you're on the road by the city gate of Jericho and Jesus is about to walk by. Are you willing to call out to him, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me? And as you shout, maybe a friend or a family member tells you to be quiet, but this time you refuse. You shout out again, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. So if you're willing, go ahead and pray that prayer out loud right now, wherever you are. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Now, just like Jesus' disciples, then, as a disciple of Jesus, I want to tell you this. Cheer up. On your feet, he's calling you. So this whole concept of cheer up, this isn't a rah-rah speech. The disciples said this because they knew Jesus was going to do something big in Bartimaeus' life. And you can cheer up as well because he plans to give you something huge in your life. But you have to get on your feet. Jesus is requiring something of us. Let me ask you, is your desperation now bigger than your fear of approaching Jesus? If so, it's time to make your move. Do what Bartimaeus did and get up on your feet. Throw off your cloak and run to Jesus because he is calling you. If your faith is stirring up in you right now, if you feel like Bartimaeus, go ahead and stand on your feet right now. Be prepared. When he gets to you, he's going to ask you this question. What do you want me to do for you? So I ask you, what do you want? Maybe your burden, your pain is physical, like blind Bartimaeus. Or maybe your burden is for a relationship that's in conflict right now. Or maybe your burden is for your grades or what college maybe you should go to. Or maybe your burden is for someone else you know who is hurting. Or maybe your burden is spiritual. You have never personally made that decision to follow Jesus. But no matter what it is, I'll say this, cheer up, on your feet. Jesus is calling you.
Hi, my name is Luke Pardue. I am an 8th grader that goes to Pleasant Ridge Middle School. For our service project for confirmation, we went to the Don Bosco Center to drop off Valentine bags, which we put Valentine notepads in, pencils, and chocolates and other candies.
Hi, my name is Camden O'Neill, and I also go to Pleasant Ridge. I'm an 8th grader, and the Don Bosco Center is a place for the seniors to interact and play games like pool and bingo. Because of COVID, they haven't been able to do that, so volunteers have been delivering meals and activities.